Alright, today we are going to go over estimating and rounding. Well, estimating basically turns into rounding. So that's how we're going to be going over both of them. So here is the question. There are 7,684 students at North Mech High and 8,974 students at South Mech High. Estimate to the nearest 100 how many students are at both schools. So, a couple of things about estimating. First, estimating is actually quite a useful skill. It's really good for mental math. A lot of times, as an adult, I will estimate things and try to figure out, okay, these two large numbers, if I add them up, about how much would it be, right? So it is definitely a useful skill to be able to do. Now, when they say estimate to the nearest 100, it doesn't mean I'm going to add up 7,684 plus 8,974 and then just round that answer to the nearest 100. It means that I'm going to round these two numbers and then subsequently add them up. So, because if you do the math to get the exact answer, there's no reason to estimate, right? If you have the exact answer, that's going to be better than having the estimate. So the whole point of estimating is being able to find the answer quicker. So, it says that we need to estimate to the nearest 100 how many students are at both schools. So we're just going to be adding these, but we need to estimate to the nearest 100. So we have 7,684. Okay? And if we're estimating to the nearest 100, the first thing we do is we find the place value that we're estimating to. So in this case, it's 100, so I know this is ones, tens, 100. 100 is always 3 from the rightmost of the number, right? It always goes ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, millions, and so on, right? Every number, place value is exactly the same. So I know that the hundreds is always the third number from the right. Okay, so I find the hundreds. Then, all I do to round is I go 1 over to the right, which in this case is the tens column, and I see that it's an 8. Now if the number is 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, so if it's 5 or more, then I go up 1 in this number. And if it is 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, 0 through 4, then this number would stay the same. So what we're doing is, since this is an 8, this would be up 1 because it's more than 5. And then every number after the 100 just turns into a 0. Okay, that's how we round. So this to the nearest 100 is 7,700. And then this one would be 8,974. Now, this one is a little bit trickier. We're doing it to the 100. It's at a 9. We go here. 7, once again, is greater than 5, so we're going to move up. But what is 1 more than 9? It's 10. But we can't just put a 10 here, right? So what we actually have to do is 8,974. We're actually, since this number is a 9 and it's going to go up 1, we have to actually add 1 to the next column over, which is the thousands, and 8,974 to the nearest 100, 1 more 100 than 8,900 would be 9,000. And now we're just adding these together. Now, one thing about rounding, which is important to know, is the lower the place value you're rounding to, the more accurate your answer is going to be. So if I rounded to the nearest 10, it probably wouldn't help you all that much in actually adding these numbers, but your answer will be a lot closer to the actual answer than if you were rounding to the nearest 100. And this number, rounding to the nearest 100, is going to be closer to the answer than rounding to the nearest 1,000. But right now, we're just adding these numbers up, and it would be 16,700. Okay, so that is what it would be to the nearest 100, estimated to the nearest 100. Now the actual answer, to show you how close it is to it, 8,974, 7,684. We can just add these up. Standard algorithm. 4 plus 4 is 8. 7 plus 8 is 15. Carry the 1. 9 plus 6 is also 15. Plus 1, 16. 7 plus 8 is 15. So then this is 16,658. So that is actually 42 off of this. But if we're talking about such large values, being off by 42 is really reasonably close in this case. So that is how you estimate, also how you round. So hopefully that helped out.